someone dies young, they tend to deify it. It oversimplifies a very complicated life.
In the heart of Mississippi, where cotton fields stretch toward endless horizons and dreams are born in the sweltering heat of summer afternoons, a legend was quietly taking shape. The year was 1954. Columbia, Mississippi was the kind of place where everybody knew everybody, where values ran deep as river roots, and where a young boy named Walter Jerry Payton would learn the lessons that would carry him to immortality. The Payton household buzzed with energy and purpose. Peter and Aline Payton didn't just raise children, they sculpted character. In their modest home, discipline wasn't harsh, but it was unwavering. Respect wasn't demanded, it was earned. And work wasn't optional, it was sacred. Walter absorbed these principles like parched earth drinks rain, watching his father's calloused hands and listening to his mother's gentle wisdom. But here's what nobody expected. The future king of the gridiron, the man who would become synonymous with power and grace, first found his rhythm not with a football, but behind a drum kit. Young Walter's hands danced across cymbals and snares with the same precision he would later bring to breaking tackles. Music coursed through his veins, and for years he believed his destiny lay in melodies, not touchdowns. Football? That was something other kids did. Walter preferred the marching band, the structured chaos of percussion, the way rhythm could move a crowd. When coaches approached him about joining the team at Columbia High School, he politely declined. He had his drums, he had his music. What more did he need? Everything changed during his sophomore year. Maybe it was peer pressure, maybe it was curiosity, but Walter finally agreed to try out for the football team. What happened next would become the stuff of legend. The moment he touched the ball, something electric happened. His drumming had given him incredible hand-eye coordination. His discipline had built unshakable mental toughness. His natural athleticism, dormant but not dead, exploded into action. By his senior year, Walter wasn't just playing football, he was redefining it. College recruiters descended on Columbia like hungry wolves, but most major programs overlooked the quiet kid from Mississippi. Their loss would become Jackson State University's incredible gain. At Jackson State, under the watchful eye of Coach Robert "Bob" Hill, Walter transformed from talented athlete to unstoppable force. This was still the era when historically black colleges and universities were proving grounds for greatness, places where extraordinary talent could flourish away from the national spotlight. Walter didn't just flourish, he exploded. Game after game, he left defenders grasping at shadows. His running style was pure poetry in motion, combining explosive power with balletic grace. He could bulldoze through linebackers one moment and dance around defensive backs the next. By the time he finished at Jackson State, he had rushed for over 3,600 yards and scored 66 touchdowns, shattering school records and catching the attention of NFL scouts who could no longer ignore his undeniable talent. The 1975 NFL Draft arrived with anticipation crackling through the air. When the Chicago Bears selected Walter Payton with the 4th overall pick, they weren't just getting a running back, they were getting a culture changer. But nobody, not even the most optimistic Bears fan, could have predicted what was coming. His rookie season was decent, 679 yards and 7 touchdowns, but unspectacular. Walter was learning, adapting, understanding that the NFL was a different beast entirely. But by his second season, something clicked. The league was about to witness the full emergence of Sweetness, a nickname originally given to him at Jackson State for his smooth running style and upbeat demeanor. and one that would become legendary in the years to come. What set Walter apart wasn't just his ability, it was his approach. While other stars demanded special treatment, Walter insisted on carrying his own equipment. While others avoided contact in practice, Walter sought it out. He understood that greatness wasn't just about talent, it was about preparation meeting opportunity, about showing up every single day with relentless determination. The 1977 season stands as a masterpiece of individual excellence. Walter rushed for 1,852 yards, a staggering achievement in an era when defenses were built to stop the run. He didn't just break tackles, he seemed to absorb them, channeling the impact into forward momentum. His MVP award that season wasn't just recognition of statistics. It was acknowledgement that he had elevated the running back position to an art form. But Walter's true greatness wasn't measured in individual accolades. It was revealed in his leadership during the Bears' rise to championship glory. The early 1980s Bears were building something special, a defensive juggernaut anchored by characters like Mike Singletary and coached by the intense Mike Ditka. Walter became the offensive heartbeat of this emerging dynasty. The 1985 season was magic captured in cleats and shoulder pads. The Bears didn't just win games, they dominated them with a swagger and confidence that captivated the nation. Their defense was legendary, but Walter provided the steady, grinding offensive excellence that allowed everything else to flourish. Week after week, he carved up defenses while carrying himself with humble dignity that contrasted beautifully with the team's brash personality. Super Bowl 20 in New Orleans represented the culmination of years of building, dreaming, and believing. The Bears were heavily favored against the New England Patriots, and Walter had carried them there with another spectacular season. This was supposed to be his moment. The game unfolded like a dream for Chicago. They dominated from opening kickoff to final whistle, crushing New England in a display of overwhelming superiority. But in the midst of celebration, there was heartbreak. Despite his incredible season, despite being the engine that powered their offense all year long, Walter never found the end zone in Super Bowl 20. Other players scored touchdowns, other players got the glory moments, while the man who had sacrificed everything for team success watched from the sideline. The pain was real, but Walter handled it with characteristic grace. He celebrated with his teammates, smiled for the cameras, and never publicly complained about the oversight. Lesser men might have sulked or demanded attention. Walter simply moved forward, understanding that individual glory meant nothing compared to team success. Throughout his career, Walter accumulated statistics like a master painter collects colors. When he retired after the 1987 season, he held virtually every major rushing record in NFL history. 16,726 rushing yards, 110 rushing touchdowns, and 3,838 carries. But numbers alone couldn't capture his essence. Defenders spoke about tackling him not with fear, but with respect, understanding they were facing something special, something that transcended normal football excellence. Off the field, Walter's impact was equally profound. He approached charity work with the same intensity he brought to football, understanding that true greatness meant lifting others up. His foundation work, his community involvement, his genuine care for people facing difficulties, all revealed a man who understood that privilege came with responsibility. But life had one more cruel test waiting. In retirement, Walter was diagnosed with a rare liver disease called primary sclerosing cholangitis. The same body that had absorbed countless hits, that had powered through pain and exhaustion for 13 NFL seasons, was now betraying him in the most fundamental way. Even facing this ultimate opponent, Walter approached his illness with dignity and purpose. He went public with his diagnosis in early 1999, using his platform to raise awareness about organ donation, not for sympathy, but to help others facing similar battles. He continued working, continued giving, continued being the man his parents had raised him to be. When Walter Payton died on November 1st, 1999, at just 45 years old, the sports world didn't just lose a great player, it lost a great human being. The outpouring of grief and celebration that followed revealed the true measure of his impact. Players who had competed against him spoke not about his rushing yards, but about his character. Coaches who had schemed to stop him remembered his sportsmanship. Fans who had cheered him recalled not just touchdowns, but the way he carried himself. Today, Walter Payton's legacy lives on through more than highlight reels and record books. The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award, given annually to the player who best demonstrates excellence on and off the field, ensures that his values remain central to professional football. Recipients understand they're not just winning an award, they're joining a lineage of men committed to something greater than personal achievement. In Chicago, his statue stands outside Soldier Field, bronze capturing the grace and power that defined his playing style. But his real monument exists in the countless lives he touched, the young athletes who learned that greatness means more than talent, and the community leaders who understand that success creates obligation. Walter Payton proved that sweetness isn't weakness, that humility isn't limitation, that true champions are measured not by what they achieve, but by how they achieve it. In a world that often celebrates flash over substance, Walter represented enduring values that transcend sports. He showed us that legends aren't born from single moments of glory, but from years of consistent excellence, daily choices to do right, and the courage to face every challenge with grace. His spirit echoes still, in every young player who chooses team over self, in every athlete who understands that character matters more than statistics, in every person who believes that true greatness serves others. Walter Payton didn't just run past defenders, he ran straight into immortality, leaving footprints that will inspire generations long after the final whistle has blown.